Alright guys, Modern Day Rob coming here at you. Today we're going to be installing an XForce Varex Exhaust System on a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. Part number ESJW18VKCS. It's a unique exhaust system because it's a performance system that allows you to change the sound when you'd like. So day to day it can be quiet, and when you want some performance you flip a switch and there's a valve inside the muffler that will open and close to give you the performance and the better sound. This all came about because my wife said, "Oh honey, I got my Jeep and I want to do something with it to make it sound tough." Well, I know my wife and I love her, and I know that she wants it to sound tough, but at other times she wants it to sound quiet so she can talk to the kids on the phone while she's driving down the street or something. So that's, we said, hey, what can we do? We're an exhaust shop. We can make this happen. Did some research. One of the brands we carried, XForce, already had this product out. So we said, all right, let's do a video. So we're going to do this video in some portions here because it's kind of I don't want to say a extensive install, but just there's multiple steps to it because you got to run a wire from the front to the back of the car, and you got to get the old muffler off and stuff like that. I don't want to bore you guys. So we're going to kind of do a clip video here. We'll show you anywhere we have problems. We'll show you enough to make sure that you could do this process step by step. We're also going to give you an example here of what the vehicle sounded like before and after. So we're going to go ahead and start the car up and give her a couple of revs before we take the exhaust system off of it. So here's your factory exhaust. Alright, then we'll shut her down there. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick look here. Let me see if my camera switches properly. Quick look up underneath of the car. Here's the original muffler on the car. Has a single pipe on it at the time. The new one's going to have a dual pipe with some really nice looking exhaust tips on it as well. We've already looked at that a little bit. And then we're going to have to come up here and just disconnect it. So it's going to be from this clamp right here that we remove. We got two hangers here. So the muffler is going to be a 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to come in and we're going to have to wire it. So we're going to run our wire up through and kind of through the body here. We're going to put a hole in the grommet that's right there. Run it on the inside. Like I said, we'll come back to you as we do things here and show you the ins and the outs and all the fun stuff. And then we'll do a final video with the comparative sound. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video here and get working on getting it installed. Alright guys, I promised you some tips. Here's the first tip I'm going to give you. We went to pull the exhaust hangers on here, and we have some nice little pliers that normally pull the rubber off. And we said, you know what, that's kind of a bear on this one. So we actually looked up in here, and the first tip I'm going to tell you, there's a couple bolts here to pull the hangers off of the frame. That's what we're going to do to get the muffler down, is just pull those bolts out. You can see there's two on each side. They're 13 millimeter. They're pretty easy to get at. You got one down here, and then you can see, hopefully here with the camera, you can see that little bracket up top there. You can just reach around the front of the muffler and get that bolt. So there you go, little pointer. Alright, here we go. We pulled out those two brackets. Now we loosened that bolt up in front. Now we're just kind of jiggling the pipe in the muffler here. Because right there where it connects, of course, it always rusts a little bit here in Ohio. Jiggle in a wiggle case. And there we go. Some wiggling, a little bit of tapping, and she came off. Time to get the new exhaust hung up in there. Alright guys, here we are. We're using our exhaust hanger pliers to remove the hangers off of the old muffler. If you don't have the nifty little pliers, you can use a pry bar normally, but we put a little bit of lube on them and they're coming right off. We just want to make sure we have those off for the new muffler because we're going to slide them on before we put it back up top. Alright guys, so we got that muffler off and pulled those hangers off. Wanted to show you the system before we put it in here. There's the pipe that's going to go up over the axle, and then here's your duals where your tip's going to hit. This little motor right here, that's your Varex motor that opens and closes the valve inside the muffler to open up your sound and your performance. So we're going to go ahead and get her hung up in place. Like I said, we're going to install the hangers onto the muffler before we put it up, and then we'll just put our bolts back in, and we're going to slide the pipe on as we go up as well. So it should go together pretty smooth. We got the new system hanging up in here. Just want to let you know, she was a little rough there. We decided to come through on the back end here. Let me get under the car here. Hope I have enough light to show you. We did pop off the exhaust hanger back to get the pipe to drop down a little bit. And then once we got it dropped down a little bit, one guy grabbed the exhaust, slid it up over the pipe, set it up in place. Then we went in and we put the 2 bolts in on the ends right here on the hangers to hold it in place. And then Casey's going to go ahead and get these tightened up. Once he tightens all of those down, these 4 13mm bolts, then he'll go back and tighten down the bracket. Casey, what was that bracket when you took it off?
What bracket? Oh,
the clamp, yeah.
This was a 14.
The original clamp was a 14mm as well. Okay. I'd like to try to include the sizes. We figure most guys can figure that out, but they might as well let you know when you're grabbing it out of the box. It's 14. So then Casey's going to go ahead and get this bolted up. Once he does that, then we'll go ahead and get the wiring set up to run, and then we'll start the video on that to show you a little bit of that. Then we'll go ahead and get the exhaust tips that are added to this on here, and we'll have a nice system. Guys, going ahead and getting the tips on here. The hardest part of the whole job, these bolts are 10mm, so we had to actually find 10mm in the shop. And as we all know, that is the hardest part. But you just slide these up over the pipe, crank them down with a nice 10mm. You get a nice spacing up in here, plus there's a nice cooling piece there. You don't have to worry about your bumper. Alright, we got those all tight. Now we are ready to go inside and do our wiring. Alright guys, I went ahead and did the tips. Casey's tightening on the exhaust where the pipe goes together now. When it came apart, it was a 14mm. Going back together, they decided to use a 17mm nut on it. So just wanted to give you that little update there. And then as you can see here, you can see the wire hanging up there on top of the muffler. On top of the exhaust, yeah, on top of the muffler. That's where we'll plug in at. We're going to run our wire nice and neatly right up across the top of here. Probably use some of those good old-fashioned zip ties. We're going to punch a hole in this rubber boot. This comes up just up underneath the back seat, and then we'll be able to run the wire in and across on the inside, and then we'll be able to run it right up underneath of the channels by the door. So keep everything nice, neat, and clean. We'll give you more video as that comes. Alright guys, we went ahead and ran the wire here. There it is, going up real nice and neat through our grommet. Kind of ran up over the cross member frame here. Kind of ran here. Hope I get to show you this piece here. Right here is where the plug-in is. There's actually a little knot in the wire that I use to tie off to the rear sway bar on the vehicle. So there's the wire ran in the bottom side. We'll come back up here. It's already up through under the seat. We'll just go on the top side now, and we'll show you how we're going to run it. So alright peeps, we ran the wire from under the seat up under the trim here. We just kind of popped loose the trim. We did not take it all the way off. So we popped it loose here, right up in here. It was a little bit of a fight to fish it underneath of the seatbelt tensioner. Then we came back around to the front here, ran it right up through here. Once again, just popped loose the trim. Then we ran the wire up through, and we just kind of pulled that out rather than unbolting that whole panel. And it came through pretty good there. Now we're going to pull the panel here underneath the steering wheel like they recommend. Run the wire across so it'll come out to the 12-volt plug-in. And we're going to stash the control box right there behind the trim. So we'll get to that next piece, and we should be wrapping up here shortly. Alright, so just checking in here. We ran our wire up through this panel. Zip tied it here. Put our remote box, we zip tied it right here. We're going to tie up this little bunch of wires here. Go ahead and we've got our wire ran up here so we can run it into our 12-volt. So there's no problem there. We can plug it and unplug it. The way I believe this system works is that you plug it in set it to the setting you want as far as on or off. Then you can unplug it so you don't have to leave it plugged in all the time. If you do have to leave it plugged in all the time, my wife's probably going to make me hardwire it, but I don't think that's the case. And then we'll put this panel back here on. One tool that we do like to use here, and I'll try to get you a picture of it, is a nice little interior tool for popping the panels off as well. Keeps you just from scratching them up, marking them up, getting complaints from your customer, or, you know, in this case from my wife. Don't want to tear her Jeep up. Or, you know, it's my wife, and the guy that's helped me, it's his boss, so we want to keep her happy. That's the whole point of putting this system in her car. So we're gonna get this all buttoned up here, and then we'll give you a finished up video where we'll give you the sounds and let you hear it, how it sounds on and off. All right, we got our finished product here on the Jeep with the XForce Varex system on it. Right now we're running it with the baffle closed to give you more of a factory type sound. Give it a rev case. So we'll pick this up, and then we're gonna let off, and then we're gonna open it up. All right, we're gonna give it another rev here. Definitely hear the deeper tone there. Close it again for you. We got this system finished up. This is the XForce Varex system on the Jeep Wrangler 2018 JL model. This also, I believe, works on the JKs, or they at least have a system for them. But I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. Currently we have this on the kind of, we're going to go ahead, you see those nice tips there with the word Varex on them. We're going to go ahead and give her a little rev here on this sound so you can hear the kind of bass stock sound. Jeep kind of gives us a little rev limit there. Then we're going to go ahead and flip the button, and now we're going to give you that nice deep performance tone. Once again, so you can hear it here. There's your stock setting. We're going to give it a little rev. A little more rev. Alright, I'm going to let that clear. Then I'm going to push the A button on the remote. You can hear her open up right there. Give her another good rev. There you go. Now you got a nice sound on that. Then I'm going to come up here and just show you where we got the system plugged in. There's our wire run up all nice and neat. All of our panels back in place. There's another nice completed performance system installed by Modern Day. We'll put links down below for all of the parts that we used and for all of the tools that we use. We'll just give descriptions on them in the description. We really don't sell a lot of tools, but this system is available at modernDayMuffler.com. Thank you and have a great weekend.